Let's redefine middle age for ourselves because this whole it's downhill from here, well, that's nonsense. You're not too late. You're not too old. You're not behind. And your best years can most definitely still be ahead. This midlife ugliness, it's simply cultural. It's not truth. We were raised to believe youth equals value and aging equals loss. But what if the second half of your life could be your freest, your most magnetic, your most aligned chapter yet? Now, this video is part of a two-part Start Here series I have for middle-aged women to really embrace this time in your life. The first one goes all over the wellness tips that you want to help with the sleep, the energy, the focus, the belly fat, all the things. I put all the things I've been learning over the past few years into one Start Here video for that. This one is all about manifesting, how to step into this exciting era of your life to build the life that you really want. So if you're ready, let's get into this. Welcome back to the Ignite Your Life with Laura podcast. I'm so excited to have you here. Welcome if you are new. Just a quick introduction. My name is Laura. I've been a life coach, yoga educator, and wellness advocate for over 30 years now, and I combine all of those to help y'all have the most amazing life ever. I focus specifically on women in that second half to really help you step into that life you know you deserve, or at least you might not know you deserve it. Honestly, I have to say that the more I do this, the more I realize that is not the message we receive. So I'm here to help you understand you deserve this amazing life. And that's what we're going to talk about in today's episodes. I've got a little inspiration, as I mentioned, and a few tangible tools for you to tap into. Now, the first thing I want to do is help you redefine middle-aged for yourself. When I say that term middle-aged, how do you feel? Yeah, in my last video, I was talking about a friend of mine. I called her middle-aged, and because she is, right? I see it as an adjective now, okay? It's taken me a little bit of time. And she goes, oh, I don't resonate with that term. And it was interesting because I was like, that's like saying you don't resonate with being someone who has short hair or someone who's tall or someone, do you know what I mean? As like, it's just what you are. But it was so illuminating for me because I was like, I get it though. That term middle-aged has such a derogatory connotation for us, and we need to reframe that, okay? So here's what I want you to do. When you think about the term middle-aged, what comes up for you? And I want you to be honest with yourself. If you want, comment below and let me know what comes up. I would love to hear, especially I would love to hear if it changes by the time we get to the end. But be honest with yourself. I want you to begin to overcome the beliefs you have around this time in your life, and you can't do it unless you're able to name it and claim it, right? Now what I want you to do is rewrite this story, okay? So I'm guessing there were some things like, well, it's all downhill from here, or the good years are behind me. I'm so sad my kids have left home. Now I don't know what to do. Oh my gosh, I've heard all of these. I have said all of these to myself. So instead, what I want you to do, and I actually would encourage you to write this out. This is an incredibly powerful exercise, is to sit down and make out a list of why this is the very best time in my life. Yeah, there are certain things that are behind you. Probably no more kids, right? That's behind you. That time is gone. But there are other things you get to do as a result of no more kids, right? We want to begin living here and now. So what I want you to really think about is, what if middle-aged isn't a crisis, but a calling? It is a time where we can shift into a whole new chapter in our life. And what is that chapter going to look like? So in my coaching practice, I focus on helping people learn how to manifest, how to create a life that really comes out of your dreams. Now, manifesting isn't, well, it is a little magic, that's for sure, but really it's about feeling like you deserve something, because when you feel like you deserve something, you're going to take the steps that you need to take in order to create it for yourself. Think of it as energy meets awareness. Okay, so we need to both identify what we want and also begin to feel like we deserve it and we can do it and take those steps toward making it happen. Now, I'm not going to talk about the manifesting basics, law of attraction basics. I did do a different video for that, so you can go check that out. Well, don't go now. Check it out after. I'll link to it below so you can check it out afterwards. I also did a video of the basics around my ultimate guide to manifesting. And there are 5 steps plus 1 for helping you design that extraordinary life that you really want. So you can check that one out afterward as well. Okay, I will link to them below. Don't go yet. I've done a lot of videos actually around this. So I'm going to link to all of them below so you can check them out, because I also did one on when you're feeling stuck in midlife with your manifesting, and I talked about the major things that hold us back as, I'm going to say middle-aged women, but honestly, it's our generation. Okay, so as those early millennials or later millennials begin to shift into this, it might not be the same, but definitely Gen Xers, baby boomers, we suffer from things like feeling really responsible for things, feeling like we don't deserve good things, like all sorts of things that come from our culture that affect our ability to manifest. So I have that video that I did for you as well. I got a whole bunch of good stuff for you. Let's step into the 2 steps that you want to take in order to begin to create this life, amazing life that you know you have in you. And here's where I'm going to share some super tangible tools with you, okay? So let's look at the first one. You need to discover joy in the life you're already living. Yeah, you gotta enjoy where you are. Doesn't mean everything is perfect. Nothing will ever, let me rephrase. You're never gonna get to a point in your life where everything's perfect. Perhaps you've experienced it once or twice in your life and that's fantastic, but just know that is not the norm, right? We need to realize that we can experience joy, gratitude, fun, even when this thing over there is bugging us or this thing over there is really hard. We can focus our attention on the silver lining, if you will, and that's one of the muscles that we need to flex. I have 3 ideas for you, okay? The first one is you got to practice gratitude. Okay, stick with me if you rolled your eyes at all, because everyone talks about it. It's one of those sort of ad nauseum things, but here's the thing. The more women I work with, I have yet to meet one person who truly lives in a state of gratitude without actually working on it. I want you to think about that. Not one. I have had hundreds of clients over 30 years of being a life coach. 98% of my clients have always been middle-aged, even when I was in my 20s in coaching. I've always worked with this age. Never came upon anybody ever who naturally exuded gratitude. I say naturally, but meaning gratitude was their go-to. Our generation is a worry generation. It's like worrying is a badge of honor. It's the responsible thing to do. Like joy and gratitude is an indulgence. We got to shift that. And gratitude is a muscle. The more you flex it, the stronger it gets. And here's what I want you to think about. When I ask people, do you feel grateful for your life? They pause and they think, well, of course I do. Yeah. But it's not the natural go-to on a day-to-day basis. The natural go-to is usually some sort of fear or worry or stress, anxiety. Those are the things we turn to when something happens. And so you need to practice gratitude to flex the muscle so it starts to become your go-to. I definitely recommend stepping into an intentional gratitude practice. So I do 2 different things. The first thing is in the mornings, I will either write down or recite 3 things that I'm really grateful for. And I always say why I'm grateful for it. I'm really grateful for my husband because I love our relationship. He makes me feel safe and happy and loved. So you're not just writing down do. You're actually reflecting on why. You don't have to write it down necessarily, but you do have to feel it. Pause. This is how you flex the muscle to actually bring it into your heart. Think about that thing you're grateful for and just appreciate it. You feel your heart swell. And it's not your physical heart that's swelling. It is the energy in your heart center. And that is literally swelling and expanding, which makes it easier to experience gratitude later in the day. The second thing I recommend you do, and I love to do this, I don't do this all the time because it gets a little too rote and it's not as helpful. But whenever I need a little surge in gratitude, I set my timer to go off however I need it. Every hour, every 3 hours. Sometimes I need it more than others. When the alarm goes off, I stop and I think, what am I grateful for now? And I shift my energy into that heart swelling space. This is an incredibly powerful tool. Please, I encourage you to try it out. Step 2 for discovering more joy in the life you're already living is to tap into self-care. Okay, another thing that I find that we talk about a lot, and another thing I also feel like people really aren't doing well. I actually created an entire program called the Radical Self-Care Toolkit because I'll link to it below, because people do not do this enough. I'm going to give you a 50% discount too, so find that link below and grab it. It's not so much that they aren't doing enough necessarily, but they're not doing the right things. Okay, so you have to do the things that are actually filling you up and leaving you feeling better. That isn't necessarily a hot bath. People say hot bath, pedicures, facials. If you don't enjoy that, it's not going to fill you up. Your self-care might be a raucous night at a rave all night long. And I'm actually talking about my son. He loves it. He comes home from those completely lit up. My daughter, on the other hand, you take her to a coffee shop with a book and ignore her for 2 hours with her book and a cup of coffee, and she's completely filled up. Everybody is different, and you want to tap into what makes you feel really good, and that can change too. I have times when, for me, the best thing I can do is lay in bed and binge watch 3 episodes of my favorite TV show. Like, I feel so much better when that's done, and that's just what I needed. And there are other times when that makes me feel so much worse. You want to begin to really tap into what you need and be proactive. So you're going to do it whether or not you need it, because that's the other thing that our generation does is like, well, I don't really need a break. I can just keep going. I don't need to sit down. My list isn't done yet. Stop. Self-care, especially in this time in life when we don't have kids angling for us every minute of the day, right? We can take that time to have a system in place to take care of ourselves. You ready for that? Now, if you need ideas, I did do a video on the self-care for midlife, the 7 essential practices to raise your vibration and feel great. I, of course, will link to that below as well. I got so much good stuff for you. Okay, number 3 for discovering joy in the life you're already living is to discover daily joys. Okay, have something every day. I prefer 5 or 6 things, right? Things that bring you joy. Maybe it is that first cup of coffee or tea. I am a tea drinker, and I love my first cup of black tea. It's the only cup of black tea I have all day. I don't want any other kind of tea. It's that first sip is like, this is so good. And I think that's what people say about their coffee as well. Maybe it is listening to an audiobook as you go for a walk. Maybe it's a 5-minute walk. Doesn't have to be long, right? Where you just enjoy yourself, you're immersed. Maybe it's your commute where you listen to your favorite podcast or something that's humorous and you laugh your way to work. One of the things that brings me so much joy is the way the sun shines into my living room and kitchen in the morning. I work out in the morning, and when I'm there when the sun is shining and just coming in, every once in a while I post the photo in my stories because I love it. It just feels so good and it's so simple, right? But I've learned that I enjoy it and it's beautiful, and I've stopped to appreciate it. 5 seconds maybe 15 seconds, that's it, but it has brought me joy. Another thing that I encourage you to do that can bring a lot of joy into your life is a hobby, something that you really enjoy. This year, I committed to working through the Spanish unit of Rosetta Stone, and I've done it. I've been doing 2 lessons a day since January 1st, and it's been amazing. It's a language I learned when I was in high school and college, and it's just been really fun to revisit it and learn it. The other thing I've taken up as a hobby is cooking. It's something I do anyway. I prefer it. My husband's not a big cook. He's happy to get his own dinner if he needs to, but I thought, what if I make this a hobby and I enjoy it? And I love watching vloggers. I like finding new recipes. I watch a TV show or I listen to a podcast or music as I cook dinner. If it's the weekend, I'll have a glass of wine while I'm doing it. It's something that I've really embraced as fun. And I analyze the recipe, and my family helps me say, what would make this better? Is this good? Is this something we want to add to our menu of items? I actually have a menu of meals that I make that my family can look at and choose the things they want me to cook during the week. Saturday night is my new recipe night where I tackle a new recipe, and it's really fun. So finding your hobby that really lights you up can really help you discover joy in the life you're already living. Here's what I want you to keep in mind. And I want you to take a screenshot of this. The more you notice joy, the more life gives you to notice. You actually have a part of your brain called the reticular activating system, and it's basically the spam filter of your brain. And it helps you be aware, if you will, of the things you believe in. Okay, it's also known as confirmation bias. And this is what happens when you think, you know what, I want to buy a new Prius. And all of a sudden you see Priuses everywhere, right? Or I think I like the color red for clothes. And all of a sudden you start seeing red things everywhere. And when you're searching online, red pops up. That's because you are noticing the things that your attention is on, right? So when you start to notice the good things about your life, guess what happens? You start to notice more good things. It is a powerful tool for manifesting. Absolutely. Hey, if you're enjoying this video, could you do me a favor and give it a thumbs up? It helps me so much. It helps my video get to more women like you who can benefit from these ideas. And I would love a comment. Comments make a huge difference too. And I really love to hear from you, specifically anything you've learned, anything you're going to try, any questions you have that I can answer in the future. That would be fantastic. And if you haven't yet, subscribe. That is a really simple way to support my content. Let's get back to the topic. So, step one, discovering joy in the life you're already living. We're on number 2, and that is to figure out what you really, 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 really want. I always do 4 reallys, and it is tapping into your heart of hearts and figuring out what will truly light you up. And I know this can be hard for us because many of us were not raised with that. I actually was raised with that. I was raised by an entrepreneur, a serial entrepreneur, a successful serial entrepreneur. It was like, yeah, do whatever it is you want, tap into it. And I still struggled with it. I still struggle with it. It is a belief I have continued to work on uncovering and rewriting for myself. So I get it. And if you've spent your life taking care of other people's needs, it can be really hard to realize you have your own desires, you have your own dreams, and it's okay to have them. It's really okay to have them. Now, if you are really stuck here with figuring out what it is you want, I'm going to share a few things that you can do, but I also want to encourage you to check out another video. I told you I got so much good stuff for you, and it's called A Practical Guide to Finding Your True Desires, 4 powerful exercises to gain clarity, and it has a workbook. I love a good workbook. So you might want to check that out. Again, I will link to it below. But just begin to tap into, what do I really want? Like, what would feel good in my life from the little to the big? It might be, what I really want is a different color bedroom. This color drives me nuts. What I really want is a garage that's not full of crap. Mine is full of so much. All 3 walls have stuff on it. But then think bigger. What is it you really want to do? If you're retired, is there a second career you really want? Don't panic. It's not a big career necessarily, but something little. I had a client, in fact, one of my very first clients back when I was in my 20s, just a young whippersnapper. And this woman, they both were federal workers. I lived in DC at the time. He was 10 years older, as I said, and he retired 10 years before she did. And she hired me to help her enjoy the 10 years, like put a plan together so that the 10 years wouldn't feel like forever. Like they lived an hour out of town and she had to commute for an hour both ways by herself once he retired. And she's like, I don't want to work anymore. He's home doing fun stuff. I want to be with him. Help me enjoy my life. Like we put a whole plan together, things that would make it more joyful to be doing what she's doing. But the second thing is she kept saying, I have to wait, because she envisioned retirement as making no more money. And that is a challenge I always put out to people because she really didn't like her job. It was okay, but 10 more years of it, knowing her husband was home, was like really brutal for her. And I encouraged her to start thinking, well, maybe you don't have to wait the full 10 years. Maybe there's something else you can do that can bring in money in your retirement years so you don't need that full retirement, right? If your, shields went up, like, no, that's not possible. I absolutely have to work until everything is fully vested, right? Which is fine. If that's what you need to do, absolutely do it. But also realize there are other ways you can make money. And the reason I'm sharing her story is she ended up retiring 4 years early, and she started this side business. And I cannot remember, it's driving me nuts because I can't remember what it was. It was a craft. And she ended up making more annually than she had been in her government job. And she was a high up government official. She was actually making a very nice living. And she goes, it's crazy. I am making so much more money than I was then. And it's a hobby. I'm just having fun doing this a few hours a day. It was fantastic. So I just want to plant that little seed for you. I thought that would be a story that might inspire you. This second half, it could be serving a certain group of people. Maybe there is a charity that you've always wanted to work on, something that would really feed your heart. Maybe it is that second career. Maybe it's doing something for yourself. Maybe it's getting fit, running a marathon. What lights you up? What is that thing that you've been putting off, or that thing that 12-year-old you wrote in her journal? I really want to do this when I grow up. And step into that, okay? There's another great story. I have so many good stories, but it's about a woman who was, I believe she was 64 at the time. I know she was in her 60s, and she experienced this incredible feat of strength when she lifted a car off of her grandson. It had rolled back in the driveway and rolled over her grandson, and it was on his leg. And she picked up the car. And she kept refusing interviews with journalists. And one journalist finally got through and said, why are you refusing journalists? Why won't you talk to us? And she said, well, when you're my age and you do something that amazing, it makes you wonder what else you were capable of and what else you could have done in your life. And he said, well, what did you want to do? And she said, I wanted to be a geologist. And he said, well, I tell you what, you're going to be 68 regardless. She was 64 at the time. Do you want to be 68 where you are now, or 68 and a geologist? She went back to college at 64. She got a degree in geology, and when I read the article, she was 75 and still teaching at the local college geology. So this feeling like it's too late for my second career, it's too late, it's still, oh my God, too late drives me nuts. I hear it so often. I'm like, just stop. What if it wasn't too late, right? What if? You don't have to reinvent your entire life. Just start noticing what lights you up. What gets you excited? Again, it could be a different color in your bedroom, or you might want to be a geologist, right? Or you might want to start traveling, and you might not have traveled before because you live alone, and you don't want to travel by yourself. I have so many good stories. Like I told you, my great aunt became widowed very young, and she started traveling with this group of singles. She traveled all around the US, and then she started traveling around the world. Like, she went on so many trips. China 3 times, Russia 4 times, like so many vacations with this group of singles. She went so often, she started going on mystery trips because she's like, I can't pick something, I've been everywhere. And these mystery trips would either be bus or plane, and they would tell you what temperature to pack for, and you wouldn't know where you were going till you were on the bus or the plane. Like, it's just amazing what you can do, okay? So I hope this inspires you to think beyond the box that you probably are feeling like you are in right now. We all have that box, by the way. I'm here to help you open the lid, step out of the box. Okay, so let's do a quick summary. You ready? Number 1, you need to redefine middle-aged for yourself. And I want you to start seeing it as, woohoo, I am middle-aged. This is awesome. I mean, start doing the math. You can be really viable and active until your mid-90s. You really can. Number 2, start to feel better. Discover joy in the life you're already living. In fact, this is a really good place to go. These are in order, okay? Redefine middle age for yourself, then start to discover joy in the life you're already living, because that is going to open your mind to so many new things. When you start to feel better every day, you're going to start thinking bigger. You won't feel as stuck as you might be feeling right now. It's probably what drew you to this video in the first place, right? Number 3, dream again. Start to dare yourself to think bigger and more expansive in a more exciting way. And here's another screenshot for you. I'm not behind. I'm blooming at exactly the right time. Okay, do me a favor. If this episode inspired you, please send it to a woman who needs this message, okay? And in fact, do it to a friend. You can do this together. Step into this work and do it together. And then of course you can check down below for all the videos I shared with you. I definitely recommend that you check out the other start here. So this is the wellness tips of things you could do at this stage. So that'll help with your energy, deepen your sleep. It's going to help you with your focus, so many good things. And then you also might want to check out the Manifesting 101 video that I did. So enjoy and let me know below what steps you are planning to take. Thanks for joining me, and we'll see you in the next episode.